Welcome back, everybody. We have Calzine in the channel. Say hi, Calzine.
Huzzah!
I am, of course, Hardware with the Durmanhoth Clan News Network, and we are here for the IAE 2952 Day 8 MISC. We're looking forward to seeing some of these, unfortunately. The nice big sexy ship that we have for MISC is not out, nor is it even close to being out. We're all waiting and banking and hoping and drooling over the endeavor, but that will be sometime down the road. What we do have are those two burly things in the back, which are the Starfares. We'll get to that in 1 second. Here is our map. Check out everything. It looks like we got the Odyssey, Expanse, Hull C, and Endeavor downstairs. That'll be fun to look at. We got our coffee to go vendor, food and water in case you need it. And let's jump into the main floor here.
I'm gonna grab a few burritos.
Oh, the burritos here are pretty good. Eat them in one bite.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we have our Prospector. The MISC Prospector is a one-man show. This ship comes with saddlebags that you'll see on the sides here. The intent with this ship, along with its refinery buddy, the Expanse, is to drop these when they're full, pick up empty ones, and continue going. The Expanse or another cargo hauling ship will then pick up the full ones, take off, and either refine them or sell it, come back, drop the empty ones off, the Prospector be ready, and then that's the circle that will hopefully go if you're doing things timely. This mining laser in the front, there are different heads to put on it, and the better the head, the shorter time it takes to cut through some rock, the better the beam is, the less heat that's generated. There's a whole small mini game to the Prospector as far as how to break up rocks is concerned. That's something that we'll go over when we do a ship tour, see how the mining goes. I actually haven't mined in probably 4 or 5 patches, and they've changed it quite a bit, so it will be a learning curve for me. But that is your, more or less, small tier 1 type of mining ship that is available right now. If we meander on over here, we have the newest of the Hull series. This is your Hull A. The cool thing about the Hull A, I'm not going to lie, this is in its folded up mode. So you see this kind of rectangular body section here. This is the primary living area slash bridge of the ship. Then you see what looks like some articulation in the middle, and then this giant ass that is your engine. Anyway, this articulation in the middle here, when you transform, this whole thing separates and gets longer, giggity, and you can store the your cargo in boxes on the spine of this ship. Now, this kind of looks like the Prospector. If you look over yonder where you have those saddlebags on the side, that's what this is, that there is no internal storage for your cargo. You will attach your cargo, boxes, crates, whatever, to the spine of this ship. You land, it comes off, you dump it, you fold back in, and you take off again to go pick up more. The whole purpose of the Hull series is to minimize the time it takes to dump your cargo. This is your Tier 1, Level 1 small ship, the Hull A. It goes all the way up to the E. Now, an E is about, I'd probably say, the size of an Orion almost, second or third largest ship in the game. And the amount of cargo that can carry is in the thousands. And it's more or less like the big freight ships that come across the ocean on those giant freighters that dump all those cargo boxes. That's the Hull E and the Hull D are those size and quantity type of cargo ships. The Hull A is your smaller, I'd say, smaller mid-sized U-Haul. If you have U-Hauls where you're at, the Hull B, probably the biggest U-Haul size there is for the box U-Hauls. And then when you get into the C, now you're looking at either like big semis, tandem semis, that type of a feel as you increase in size. At least that's just my opinion. A very cool line of ship. If you're a space trucker, then these are the ships that you want to get into depending on what you're doing.
Make good money.
Make a lot of good money doing freight.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now what we have in front of us, these are your Starfarers. Starfarers have been around for a very, very long time. Giant, sexy but ugly ships, gotta say. The one on the left is what is called the Starfarer Gemini. The one on the right, I think, is just called the Starfarer. I don't know if it has another designation or not. As you can see, the one on the right is kind of a plain Jane. That is just your semi-cargo and mostly gas hauling type of ship. The one on the left, you can see a lot of cannons, a lot of rockets. You'll see a lot more cannons as you move along. There's a huge turret on the top. This is more of your military variant. So if you have semis carrying gas, the gas trailer canisters, that's what you're looking at on the right. And if you're looking at the giant military camels that are carrying gas, or giant military jets that are carrying fuel to do the refueling, that's the one on your left. That's the military variant. Now, the cool thing about these are that it has been a myth and a legend for a number of years, and it has now come to fruition. These ships do refuel in the air. So what happens is, let me see if I can find it. I'm back here by the Gemini.
Yeah, that one there, it's a gas pig. It hauls gas and it refuels ships.
Yep. So this giant thing in the back here that looks like a laser, that is your gas pick. You'll have a guy up there on the rafters. I believe he can do it as well. I think there's somebody on the inside that can do it too. I've never done it, but I've seen it done. But this thing comes down, shoots out, and will get inside of a ship, fill it up, and then you de-dock and take off. This is done pretty much through the same docking procedure as if you have the symbiote ships on the Constellation, the Merlin, or the Archimedes, or Achilles, sorry. Those ships, you fly up close to the back end, you set yourself for docking, and then it'll auto dock. This is pretty much the same thing. This ship can fly through nebulas in areas of gas clouds, accumulate that, refine it, and then make it into the different types of fuels and store it. You can, each one of these barrels, you can store a different type of fuel, so it's not like you have to have all one kind. You can have both your quantum and your hydrogen type of fuels on board. These ships are pretty massive. I'm not going to do a full tour on one. I think I still have one because it is a loaner for a Endeavor, if I'm not mistaken. But this is kind of the inside. This would just be your base cargo room. You can also throw in a couple of, it's probably high enough maybe for a Cyclone. I don't know if an Ursa would fit in here or not. This place is huge and you get lost. So again, I'm not going to spend the time going through all of it. The cool thing about the Starfarer as well are there are Starfarer wrecks that you can check out and find bodies and treasure and whatever else down on the planets. Now that they have those types of things, wrecked ships and outposts that missions will eventually take you to. But those are your two mobile gas trucks the Gemini, which is the military version, and again, I believe it's just the Starfarer, though I ran away from it, is the regular civilian model.
Yep, very nice ships. Very useful.
Yes, and I don't have any of them. And now that they work, I almost wish I did.
Yep. I wonder if we can go rent one. Just check it out.
Oh yeah, during free fly week, you can rent everything.
Yeah.
All right, we are now into one of the side chambers. These are the freelancers. I do not know a whole lot about them. They are, I believe, just 4. Is there a 5th? Nope, I don't think so. The 4 variants. These are kind of your starter sized freight type ships that have some multi-use to them. Where's the little sign for this one? All right, this is because I don't know any of these, this is just your base freelancer. You can see the armaments. You got the back door back here. Now what sucks about these ships is you cannot stick much in them vehicle-wise. I believe you might be able to squeeze in a Cyclone and some hover bikes. If you bring anything with anything on top of it, like maybe, I don't know if a Cyclone MT would fit. Rover will definitely not fit. It gets hung up on this turret ladder here. So its functionality is a little bit missed. I don't even think you can put a rock. I think a rock is a little bit too oddly shaped, but you might be able to.
No, it's too wide. Yeah, we tried putting the rock in there. It just does not fit. The rock we tried anyway.
Yeah, these ships are nice starter size ships. They're kind of equivalent to the Cutlass Black and above. So you have your base, which means that one, the silver one, was mainly for cargo. This is this is your expedition model. Your expedition one looks like it's got some sensor arrays in the front. You can tell the difference. This thing's got 2 giant nipples off the front of the nose. The other one does not. That's your starter style sized explorer ship. No, I said nipple.
It's a good selling point. I said point.
All right, this is the Max. This is definitely your medium-sized freighter. That's what this thing is mainly for. Got a couple guns on it. Otherwise, the rest is just carved out strictly for cargo. And, yep, she looks definitely a lot wider than the first one that we saw. So this thing's dumper is probably wide enough to get. This thing you could probably get a rock in if you tried. Again, most of the higher, taller, I should say, ground vehicles get hung up on this turret up here, which is a major problem. And I do hope for those that love the Freelancer that gets fixed to make it a little easier. The other thing I do not like about the Freelancer, let me run up to the cockpit here. Now, some people love this. Some people, like myself, do not. It's a really cool cockpit, honestly. Lots of lights and things that go blip blip and beep beep and blink blink. It's cool, but the problem is the visibility. When you're looking out through this very squinty glass front end of the ship, it makes piloting it a little rough, at least for me. And this thing has a long ass dashboard and a long nose, so the depth perception just kind of throws you off a bit. Again, that's a personal preference, but that's one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of the Freelancers. But there are people that do. Yeah, what's that?
Nor am I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. There's much better ships out there. It's cool. you're just starting out and you just want to putt along, but much better ships out there. Even the Cutlass Black I find way more useful.
All right, the last one we got here is the MISC Freelancer. This is the MISC. MISC, sorry. The MISC is the gunship. So if you're looking for something to go into combat with at this range of ship, you can see missiles on the wings. Here, you got turrets. Looks like you have some scanners for enemy ships on the front. And double nipples. Got more turrets here. You're going to have the traditional turret on the back. And without seeing the specs on it, I'm sure the armor is obviously going to be substantially more. But again, here is the more narrow back end. That's pretty much the same as all of them, but the medium freighter that's specifically for freight. Again, they're nice ships. A lot of people love them. A lot of people love them. I am just not one of them.
Nope. No, those are pretty basic ships for, basic functions.
Yeah, if like I'm kind of a brand whore, so if you are a MISC fan, that would be your kind of multi-purpose ship line that you can get a bunch done with without going into anything that's specialty wise. Kind of like Drake people like the Cutlasses.
Yep. Oh yeah, Cutlass Black, totally useful ship. I have a Cutlass Blue, which is the bounty hunting ship. I don't think the cells are functional yet, but they will be.
Oh yeah.
And then I can start filling them. Yeah, I can't wait.
Man, these halls are so wide. I feel like I'm running for an hour.
Some of those ships are really large, right? So that's a huge building.
Yeah. Oh, they had the 3 Hercules all up in this for Crusader Day, and oh my God, that was unbelievably big.
Hercules, wow, yeah, that's a large ship.
My BPM is quite high. Trying to slow down here. All right, we have the Reliant series in here. I am also not a fan of this ship line whatsoever. Do not know much about them. All right, this is the Reliant Mako reporting. Yeah, see, this makes no sense to me overall. I am guessing if you are into doing the news and filming, stuff like that, that's the purpose of this.
Interesting.
These are kind of neat looking ships on the inside. They're just like flying boomerangs on the outside. Your seats hover above glass, so you have, a full range of viewing out the front end of the ship, whereas the MISC Freelancer series that we just saw is completely the opposite. But this ship, you'd really have to take a look at the website. Again, we'll do probably a ship tour of these at some point in time to get an understanding of what the hell this is actually supposed to be used for, but it's like a news crew. I don't know what that really means, but eventually we'll find out.
Strange, yeah. It's a media ship.
All
It's odd.
Now we have the MISC Reliant Tana. This is your light fighter. So this is your Gladius, your Arrow, your that type of series of ship. Now, as a fighter profile is concerned, this is very skinny. So it might be good of not getting hit versus some of the other ships that might have a little bit bigger of a cross section. But otherwise, all of these ships are pretty the same on the inside. This is a fighter, so you've got a couple beds, which is nice.
That is nice.
Oh, looks like you got a shitter in here. That's really nice. I think that's a shower too, so it looks like you can shit, shower, shave in the same spot, which is not normal for a fighter of that class. So I guess if you are looking for survivability and health and whatnot, then that ship has got it. An Arrow does not. All right, this is the Reliant Sen. This is your science. Guessing it's an explorer type of ship. Again, looks like you got some sensor pods. Looks like a science seat, something akin to what the 600i has. It looks like you have, well, that's pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
It won't let me specifically look in the microscope, but it has one.
Now, wait a minute. Let me see that scope. Is that for, like, dropping bomb? What is that?
This is a microscope.
Oh, just a microscope, yeah. Oh, science ship. Right.
Yep.
I'm thinking this is a bomber. Science ship, yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yep, they have some decent functionality. Also has a shitter, which is nice.
So the function of this ship is to get some of the data from various planets and regions, because it probably can find gases and stuff too, but probably mostly minerals. You can sell that information to like data ships, miners.
Yep, that would be your tier 1 small explorer science type vessel. And here is the core, the Reliant core. This is your freight. So again, a lot of people jump on a specific look and enjoy that look. So you want a small freighter, this is your freighter. You want a small science, you want military, you want news. That's what this line has, and they have them all relatively the same, so you don't have to keep setting up something new. Now this freighter, you can see you're missing the science hab, you're missing some of the lock boxes, you're missing the shitter. This is just straight cargo with a small hallway where your access points are for your cooler and your other components, and then your standard seats. So that's the difference with this, is you got a little bit of a nice wide ass to throw some stuff into.
No shitter on that ship?
Nope, they took the shitter out.
Damn.
For cargo, which is interesting, but it's not a long distance one either, so it's not like, you're long hauling it across systems. You should be using a bigger one specifically for that.
Yeah, but if you gotta go, man.
And just hanging out the back door.
Kick it out the port.
All right, so that looks like it for the halls and the main floor. So now we're going to run downstairs, check out the hollows.
I'm 13 mil out. Still on my way, but I'm watching Twitch.
All this running is making me have to drink.
Okay. Yeah, look at some of those ships.
All right, so down here it looks like we have a bunch of couches. If you like space couches, I don't
I
think
do.
MISC. I don't think makes any vehicles. Well, looks like the Razors is all they're going to have down here. All right, so these are the Razors. They're like one-man formula cars almost. They're just giant rockets on a small chassis. This is probably your racer version. Let me check over here. Yep, this is your racing variant of the Razor. Actually looks kind of nice with that blue and black.
It does look nice.
This is your basic get around town base model. Luxury.
Wow, they look fast.
Yeah, these are very quick. And then this is your stealth. This is kind of a cool reconnaissance version. So this type of a ship, you send one guy out. Hey, I need you to recon this area on the planet. Somewhere by the lake is supposed to be a base, but I don't want anybody to find you. So you hop in this, very low signature, very low profile, very small cross section. One man, in and out, do some recon, and bring back your data.
So, like, is this for racing? Like, can you use it on the tracks?
The racing version is the blue one, the first one we looked at. The black
Right.
one is the stealth. So it's a matter of components. Your racing components are all built for nothing but pure, unadulterated, immediate speed, and the cooling of that pure, unadulterated, immediate speed. And then as you put other components in, like the stealth, those obviously reduce your IR signatures, and so they're not pure, unadulterated speed. The speed ones make noise. They're just for going from point A to point B as fast as possible. The stealth ones obviously have a different aspect to them, so it won't be as fast, but they are all very quick.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the tracks there. I want to do some racing.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. Coming out in 318 is a whole bunch of tracks. I think 5.
Yup.
All right, now this is MISC's Hull C. This is your, again, it's an opinion. I'd say your full semi version of space trucking would be concerned. You can see that these ships, that's the front. You have that articulable spine in the middle, and then you have this big dumper in the back. So what this ship does, if you have no cargo, that's what all that boxes are. If you have no cargo, though that skeleton, all those little ribs fold in to that spine, the spine collapses, the ship becomes smaller, so it's more fuel efficient. The architecture and the superstructure of the ship is protected by the armor of the ship itself instead of just a shield covering the cargo. So you protect your components more. So this is the mid-range Hull C. Looks cool. I have a few ships that do some decent-sized cargo running that are my military variants, like the Liberator, the M2. So I do not particularly have a major interest in these. I know some of the guys do, which is fantastic, because we have something to protect as a clan.
Yep, you can make decent money with that for sure.
This is MISC's newest ship. This is the Odyssey. Probably collapse back to first person to see it better. The Odyssey is a decent sized ship. This is your direct contestant with your 600i Explorer. This thing does scoop its own fuel. If it is classed as an explorer ship now, they all scoop their own fuel or have the ability to, because they want these ships to have the ability of going further than normal ships. These are the ships that are going to help as the game progresses over the years of its actual release to find jump gates that have not been found, nebulas of resources that have not been found, planets and systems that have not been found. And that's what these types of ships are for.
Jump to Pyro.
Yep.
I heard there's a third realm. I forget what it was called.
Oh, there's, I think, going to be over 100, which is hard to believe. But you've got Pyro, you have Nyx, you have.
Nyx, yeah.
There's another one. But I mean, they're all coming out. You got Terra, you got the actual Earth system. You got a few of them that are going to be coming out.
Oh, sweet.
All right, this is the Expanse. I alluded to this earlier. This is the direct kind of brother to the Prospector. The Prospector, when you pick up as an example Quantanium is volatile. You have a timetable to take your volatile material, Quantanium, in its raw form to a space station, unload it, refine it, without it exploding and destroying and blowing you and your ship up. And right now, all people can do is load up the Quantanium as much as possible and hyper over to a space station that has a refinery on it and unload it as quickly as possible. With the help of this Expanse, you now will have a mobile refinery. So as a prospector, you get all that Quantanium, you load it up into your bags, you dump your bags, you fly off and do some more. The Expanse comes over, same type of bags as you can see. The Prospector carries 2 on a side, 4 total. The Expanse can pick up 4 to a side for 8 total. So if you have 2 prospectors running Quantanium, then this thing will be able to refine it. Now there is a time table for refinement, and I'm assuming down the road you can buy better refining equipment. So if it takes 20 minutes to refine, you can bring it down to 10 or something to that effect. But right now it's just a base model, tier 0 version of anything. And the Expanse's sole purpose is to take the Prospector and leave the Prospector planet side, let it continue to get as much minerals as possible. And it doesn't have to just be Quantanium, it's anything. And then it will fill these up, and then you can take an Expanse and fly that up to a station to sell it. Or if you have a Pioneer or something else of that magnitude for city building, for outpost building, for whatever you might need, then you refine your own ore and you cut out the middleman. But that ship is a major player for those that are into mining and that want to do one-man mining. Prospector. I mean, in all reality, I suppose you could land an Expanse, jump in your Prospector, mine, land the Prospector, dump its cargo, move the Prospector, jump out of the Prospector, run over to your Expanse, get in your Expanse, fly your Expanse over, pick up your Prospector bags, start refining, hop out of the Expanse, jump into the Prospector, and go mine some more if you were so inclined, because these are one-man ships. But if you got a buddy, it would just be easier to let him refine for you as you go pick your stuff up.
Sweet.
Now, this is the sexy beast. This is the capital. This is the Endeavor. We are all so much waiting for this ship that it's taking forever to make. This middle spine area does not articulate. This is the ship in its base form. You have a big dumper in the back here. You got a lot of engines to move this thing. And you have modules to be placed in the center spine depending on what you're going to be using it for. Jumping ahead, this front part where these 2 rockets are, these engines, and this small shuttle nose area, this detaches. So if you are flying your Endeavor and it's in hospital mode, like the Endeavor Hope, and the Endeavor Hope modules are a hangar, medical bay, so you can treat people with tier 1 beds in space. If you're in that mode and you want to go down and help people, or if you want to go down and shop, instead of making this entire structure, which will be gigantic, down planet side and then trying to leave atmosphere with it, you detach the shuttle and fly down like a normal, I believe it's going to be considered a medium-sized craft. So, anything in the realm of bigger than a Cutlass Black, probably much bigger than a Cutlass Black. I'm trying to think of something else. But a medium to large type of ship to go planet side, do what you need to do, fly back up, dock with your spine, and then continue. Some of the major components to be put onto this ship to make it what it is, you have the medical bays for treatment in space, and if you have tier 1 beds, the Endeavor you can spawn at. There is an industrial giant ring that goes around it, and that is eventually supposed to be, granted this is concept, so this can all change. The intent of that is to be, you make an engine better. You can take armor and make it better. It's to take something and increase its value, or create it to begin with. It's your manufacturing plant. And then the other one is your agricultural. You have 4 biodomes that you can plant food and trees and stuff in them and use it as a mobile farm through space and sell off your rare food, your good food. And another one is the science. There's a giant telescope on it with science material where you can go to the far reaches of space, collect the data, send the data back to your base, sell your data, and go about your day-to-day operations with that. So 4 major configurations, and you can interchange any of them. You can put a medical bay with a biodome. You can put a biodome with a science. But the configurations are made to be with specific components to get the most out of it. I don't know where the hell I am now. And so you pretty much want to pair all the components that you need. So that will be it for MISC Day. Next we'll be checking out RSI and the new ship launch of the Galaxy. So everybody stop in and check out Day 9, which will be RSI, Robert Space Industries. Thanks for coming.
Sweet.